Hey guys, this is your girl Dom. So we are going to do this look with a little bit of chit chat, and I wanted to talk to you guys about forgiveness. So I'm not going to do too much talking about the makeup, but I am going to do a little bit talking about how I learned to forgive and the process that came with the forgiveness and how God is still working on me. So if you want to see what we got going on, if you want to see how I achieved this look in a matter of probably 15 minutes, please continue to watch. Alright guys, so I just want to talk to you a little bit about what was going on with my hair. So my hair was breaking out horribly. It was so bad. So I actually did go get my hair checked out, trying to figure out what's going on, and then I went to go to my actual doctor first because I wanted to see if she could refer me to anybody. So she did a bunch of tests on me, and then she did like a hormone test, and then within that hormone test we was able to discover that I had PCOS. Yes, I did have PCOS. And PCOS in my situation was a little bit weird. It was doing like a reverse, but not doing a reverse. So it's more so about abnormal menstrual bleeding, and it has like excessive hair growth, it has acne, obesity, but then it also have hair loss. So I was doing the opposite. I was growing hair and losing hair all at the same time because my hormones were so imbalanced. So I was growing a lot of bodily hair, but my hair on my head I was losing it. So a lot of my eating habits had to change, my dieting, like everything had to change. So I also think it was that black dye that I put into my hair, and I think because I didn't take care of it and I really wasn't tending to my hair like I once was when I did my big chop. So I feel like it was just a lot of stuff. Stress was definitely added to the menu. So I feel like it was just a lot of things all together that had a piggyback of it. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to cut my hair. I wanted to go to the salon and get it cut, but I just didn't feel like, who waits for an appointment? I mean, that's how I felt. So I said, I have my license in this. I can actually cut my own hair. I just was too lazy to do it. So I did cut my hair. I didn't do a huge chop, but I did do a chop. I will have that video on like my Instagram and TikTok platforms. I'll probably do that. And I'm new into shorts, so I may do it for my shorts. But I had to cut my hair because my hair was just really, really bad. Like, really bad. And there was more that I should have cut, but I said, no, we're not doing that. I'm just, we're just going to baby step this thing. So what I'm going to revert back to is I am reverting back to, on the heavy end of everything, is my aloe vera treatments. I just started doing the rosemary treatment. So I did that before actually cutting my hair, trimming my hair up. So I did that before me actually twisting this hair up, and I actually like it. I let it sit in overnight. I will show you my process of how I use that and stuff like that. So I'm going back to like the natural home remedies. I'm being really careful and picky with what I'm putting back into my hair. I'm just really taking my time with my hair, just falling in love with my hair all over again, and just catering to it. I'm going to see what's working for me. I do know one thing: I have to put oil in my hair at least 4 to 6 times a week. I know that may be really excessive, but my hair dries out super, super bad. So yeah, guys, so that's what's been going on with my hair. That's why my hair looks really, really short right now. And I was trying to do like the little twists with the perm rods, but it was giving me no. So I had to go in with and do like a little bantu knot towards the end and put a rubber band method around it. And I could have done the perm rod methods. I just didn't have those sheets to put my hair in between because my hair was just so even from this fresh cut. So yeah, guys, and just keeping your hair moisturized. If you are someone who's going through the same situation with PCOS, I wish you the best of luck. Make sure you're eating right, take care of your hair, and guys, we're gonna move over to this forgiveness topic. So this video is going to be a little bit different because I wanted to do a chit chat and I wanted to do a quick makeup look. It's not going to be full detailed makeup because I gotta go, you know, and I have to make it really, really quick. So I was like, I wanted to talk to you guys about some things that, you know, that I was going through. And we're going to do some makeup. I'm not focused on using the makeup products, but more so I am going to be, what is that? I am going to be talking about what I'm going through, and I will have the description below of all the products. So we already know all of this stuff. So the first thing I am going to go in with is, let me first turn my phone on vibrate. And then secondly, I want to go and prime my face before I do anything else. And I just want for this to dry up a little bit before I go in with my makeup and stuff. So today I wanted to talk about forgiveness, and I wanted to talk about this because it's something where I had to learn how to forgive. And it's the way that I was forgiving. I thought that I was forgiven, but I had like the wrong understanding of what forgiveness really meant. Just for starters, forgiveness is when you stop feeling angry or resentful towards someone, or you don't feel offended toward that person. And for the longest of time, I defined forgiveness as more of a numbing way, but it wasn't really forgiveness. You know what I'm saying? So for the longest of time, I thought forgiveness was, okay, I forgive you, I let it go, and it is what it is, and I'm over it. But as I've gotten older, that's not really the way to forgive. But it was easier because it was people that I didn't have to really deal with in life. Like, we had no connection, we had no real, I could easily just dismiss you. That's what I'm basically trying to say. But when I was going through the process of forgiveness, I always understood that forgiveness was not for them. You know, I think that we all know that forgiveness is for yourself. Because without truly forgiving someone, you're missing out on the real experience on life. You're missing out on your own joy, your own peace, your own happiness. You're missing out on who God has truly called for you to be. Is because you're constantly focused, or you're allowing someone to take your peace because of, you know, what they have done to you. And it's only right because we're human. We all don't get it right the first or second, third, fourth, fifth, whatever time or chances that we're given. But what I learned from forgiveness, like real true forgiveness, is so much more healing in it. It's so much more joy and so much more peace. And years ago, it was easy for me to say that I forgive people because it was the way I view forgiveness. It was more like pretending. I was pretending that it was all good because I didn't have to interact with that person anymore. So say it be like a coworker, I didn't have to live with you. You wasn't my parent. You wasn't my brother. You wasn't my child. You know, whatever that may be for you. It's not a family member. It's not like a real close friend. So it don't hurt that much. Well, for me, I'm speaking on my behalf. It didn't hurt that much to just let people go. Like, I was the queen of easily dismissing you. In my life and out of my heart. Once I was done with you. And I didn't care. And I thought that was forgiveness. But I feel like it helped me in that season of my life. As I got older, or rather I say recently, or over the past few years, I had to learn how to truly understand forgiveness. And forgiveness is easier said than done. It's extremely, extremely hard. And I say that because how can you forgive when you've been so hurt? You know what I'm saying? Like, how can I truly forgive someone who's hurt me? I can't get past the hurt. I don't know how to get past the hurt. I'm sitting here trying. You loved me. I loved you. I thought this was real. I thought that we were true friends or family or whatever the case may be. You know, I was thinking that I thought I was doing it right, you know? But I would say, I'm sorry, I'm trying to do my eyebrows and talk to you guys at the same time. Hold on, let me do this real quick. Girl, I got 2 different eyebrows, but it's gonna be okay for right now because I ain't got all day to sit here trying to fix this, okay? So don't come for me. But when I was looking at forgiveness, I felt like I was pretending because I had the wrong definition of forgiveness. So when I was going through a certain situation in my life recently, or I would say a year or two or so ago, wasn't so recent. And when I was going through that situation, I tried to use the same method of forgiveness that I used years ago on my current situation. And I knew I had an issue of forgiveness was when I was still aching about it. I still was feeling some sort of way about the situation. Or say for instance, their name would pop up on my phone, like a text message or a memory photo, or I would hear their name on TV and then start going crazy, or you know, whatever the case may be. However their name or however I felt about them, if I happened to see them, my feelings, I would feel like this annoyed feeling. I would feel so bothered with inside that sometimes it would disrupt my peace. It would disrupt my joy. I was like, why am I still feeling this way? Like, why do I still feel some sort of way? And it's been over. I forgave them. I let it go. I moved on. I did what I normally do, which is say I forgive you, do like a little parting text, say good luck to you the rest of life, I wish you the best, and I move on. And normally it would have worked for me. But what I realized was I listened to a message. I can't remember the pastor and I can't fully remember his message. I'm not for sure who it was, and it was in passing when I was listening to it. Was just in passing on YouTube, and I can't quite remember what he said, but it was something of where it opened my eyes to understand that I wasn't truly forgiving. What I do remember from it, it was basically when he said, you know, when you still haven't forgiven somebody is when it still bothers you. And then I was like, but I thought it stopped bothering me. I thought I let it go. I thought I moved on from this situation. I thought that I was good. You know, I'm not seeing them. I'm not around them. I don't interact with them or her or him or them or that person or whatever it may be. I just thought that it was good. I was done. I was okay. But then I had to open my eyes and realize, was I forgiving? Was I pretending to forgive? Or my definition of forgiveness, is it all wrong? Maybe I was doing it wrong from the jump. I prayed to God about it. And it took some time for me to fully assess the situation as far as, no, I don't have full forgiveness. It took a long time for me to understand that. But then I realized, what part of this forgiveness am I missing out on? So then that's when I asked God, I said, why can't I let this go? Why can't, out of all people, all situations, all time of my life, why does this situation constantly arise? Why is it when this particular person called or text me, or a memory photo, or whatever, why do I get bothered inside? And I heard the Spirit and felt the Spirit say is because you don't know how to let it go. You don't know how to forget. In order to complete forgiveness, you also have to complete the forgetting part. I had to forget what they've done. And this part right here, I actually ended up asking God, like, how can I forget it? How can I protect myself again from this person or people like them if I just forget what happened? Like, how do I move on? So recently, I believe it was 2 or 3 days ago, I read the chapter Matthew 5. I forgot what verse it is. I don't know it by heart. I can't remember the verse. But it said when someone slap you on one cheek, you turn around and give them the other cheek. Now, for so many years, I understood the meaning of it. Like, I'm not illiterate. I know what God was trying to say with it. But I didn't fully understand it wholeheartedly. So when I was going through this forgiving process, and you know, God always does like this big bang towards the end. It's like he put you through this whole test, and then towards the end, boom, this is what I meant. And that boom for me was when I read that verse and he said, what I took out of it is when he say to turn your other cheek for them to hit you, I took out of it as, from what the Spirit was giving me, I had to learn to forgive the person and forget what they've done. And when I say forget what they've done, it's not in a way of completely being blind and naive to people. No, it's forgetting what they've done, one, for your peace. Two, it's more so teaching me knowing where to place people in my heart. It's knowing how to place people in my heart. It's knowing, okay, I know what you did to me before, but we all deserve a second chance. We're all human. We all make mistakes. So I got you. I get that. But I will move on from what you've done to me because you don't deserve my peace. God worked too hard on me for me to continue to give in this energy, because it takes a lot from me. It took a lot from me. And it takes a lot from you. But what I learned was knowing how to place people in your life. When I forgive you, that's you slapping me. All right, cool. I'm forgiving you for that. Cool. But when I turn that cheek, that's me saying, yeah, you slapped me there again. But at least this time I knew how you was going to do it. I knew why you was going to do it. I know your personality. And now I know where to place you in my heart and place you in my life. So because this is something that you do, I'm not going to hold it against you. But I'm going to say, I can't have you come so far into my heart. But you could be right here. I could be friends with you. I could be cordial with you. I can't be friends, but I could be cordial with you and say, you can't go deeper past what I see. So it's also like a metaphor of a thief wants to come in, rob something in your house. So instead of giving the thief the opportunity to come rob anything in your house, the only place I'm allowing for this thief to be is at my front door. You can't come into my house because I know who you are. You can't come into my heart because I know who you are. But I'm okay with you being at my front door because you can't take anything out there. All the value is inside the house, not on the outside. So that's as far as you can go. And I would still forgive you. I would still let it go. I would move on. But I know now to not bring you back here. And that was the problem when I was forgiving people, or when I had a different level of forgiveness. I was allowing people to come back into my heart to hurt me the same way. So that was my thing. It was more so knowing how to place people in my life and not giving people the access to all of me, but given enough to know that I need to forgive. I then asked God, what if it's some people that I can't easily walk away from? Some people you can walk away from, and some people that you just can't walk away from. How do I fully forgive them? How do I move on past the hurt? How do I truly let it go? And one of the things that I really felt when I was going through this process of learning how to let everybody go is, I'm not doing it for them. I'm doing it for me. Unforgiveness is so scornful. It's so hurtful, and it was beneath me. And I didn't realize that I had it wrong the whole entire time. So if you're going through a phase of you're trying and learning or trying your best to like forgive someone, the best advice that I can honestly give you is to learn to forget it. Like, try your best to forget it. It's not easy. And as us humans, sometimes we just can't let things go that way. But your best bet is to just forget it. Forget what they've done, move on, and allow for what needs to take place. And then sometimes when it comes down to forgiveness, some people just don't need to be in your life. That's just the bottom line of it. Some people just do not need to be in your life. And I could say, like, ask God to help you understand who those people are, how you should move with those people, how those people look in your circle, how, what do they sound like? How do you receive them? How do they receive you? Do they pray for you? Do they look out for you? It's a lot when it comes down to people. I had to learn a lot about forgiveness, even when I hurt somebody, and I hate to do that because I don't want for someone to look at me as the pain that I put them in. But we are human. We are not going to always get it right. But I had to also know what it feels like to be hurt, to know not to do that again. You know what I'm saying? So forgiveness is not about the other person. It is morally about you. And it's all about how you're going to, it's how you move on. You know what I'm saying? And I seen this post at on social media, and there was this woman, and she was on stage and she was preaching, and she was talking about, how do I sit at the table when the person who's on the other end of that table, I thought they was going to be on this end of the table with me. I didn't know when I make it they was going to be on the other side of that table. How do I eat with them? How do I converse with them? How do I be around those who I didn't see who's going to be on the other side of the table? And when she said this, girl, when I tell you, it blew me out the window, because it's exactly how I felt. She asked God, how am I supposed to eat around these people that I thought they was going to be on my side? And she said, eat. Eat. You just eat with them. And then it goes back into how God ate with Judas. Like, he still ate with him knowing what he was going to do to him. And to me, that was probably one of the hardest things, because I'm someone, once you hurt me, I will forgive you, but it's hard for me to let it go. And that's one of the hardest things, I'm telling you, one of the hardest things about me when it comes down to forgiveness is truly letting it go. But what is it that God had let go for you? And I had to ask myself that question, like, what have you done that God looked at your situation and said, don't worry about it, I forgive you, I move on? Would you like it for God to sit there and constantly remind you of the thing that you've done wrong? No, because you want for him to forget it and move on. You don't want to be constantly condemned about what you did. And you don't want to constantly be condemned about what you did. You want to be fully have his grace and his peace and his knowledge and his wisdom and his love and his presence, and to allow for you to fully grow. And I mean, when I'm saying about forgiveness, it's not easy. It takes time. But God's not out asking you to be perfect. He already knows that you're imperfect. He already knows what hurts us, and he already knows all of this stuff about us. But it's the little steps that he appreciates that you make. And trust me, I'm still learning about forgiveness. Don't think I'm fully healed. Like, listen, I'm not no preacher. I'm no priest. I'm no saint. I'm trying to make it just like y'all are. But I just wanted to express that, because I just feel like sometimes it's hard to forgive when people have hurt us over and over and over and over. But look how many times we hurt God. How many times that we let him down. How many times we put other people before him, other things before him, money, situations. And I had to look at that and say, Father, you forgave me, and I have to forgive other people. Because sometimes some people don't know what they're doing. Some people don't know that they're hurting you. Some people don't know how to not hurt, because you don't know how that person was raised. You know what I'm saying? You don't know if they was raised with morals and respect and ethics. And even if they were, sometimes situation in life can damage people. So I seen it as, help me. You know, another thing that I learned in forgiveness is not asking to change the other person, but help me to change myself in this situation. What can I do better to let this go? Because I really didn't like the fact that I still was feeling some sort of resentment, some sort of hatred towards people or a person that I couldn't just let go out of my life. Be it situations, be it work, be it family, like whatever it is, we're forced to be around a certain particular person that hurt us. And it's learning just about forgiveness. We not perfect, they're not perfect, you're not perfect. Like, it's just letting go and letting God and allowing God to show you who he is. And one thing I know about God is he's looking for someone to be fair. He's looking for like peacemakers. And once you do your job, you do your due diligence, and you be peaceful, you be loving, you be kind, you be sweet. It's not easy to be sweet to people who don't deserve it. It's not easy to be loving to people who don't deserve it. It's hard. And especially it's hard when you see yourself putting all that work in and then they can't even do the same thing either. It's hard. It used to be frustrating. It's like, I'm putting all of this work in and these people don't even care about me. They don't like me. And it's like, I'm sitting here doing what I'm supposed to be doing for you. I'm sitting here catering to you and making sure you're good, making sure your situation is good. And I'm always wanting to help everybody else. But then I was like, I don't want to help nobody no more. I don't help nobody because everybody is just rude and disrespectful. But no, that's not the way to go. So if you're anyone who was like me that was struggling for so long on learning how to forgive, the key to forgiveness is just letting it go. Hold on, let me do these lips real quick. I went too far over, but it's okay. Just let it go. Move on. Live your life. Let it go. Be happy. Be at joy. There's so much going on to the world that we ain't got time to be all angry all the time. Anybody got time for that? Like, but no, for real. No one really has time for that. You gotta let it go and be happy with who you are and what you got going on in your life. There's so much more going on in this world. And it's just like, what if you do something to somebody? Would you want for that person to still be upset at you? Would you still want for that person to be angry with you? No. So yeah, so guys, that's all I had to say about forgiveness. It's just truly letting go, forgiving that person. It's not more so just, hey, I forgive you and we're gonna move on and act like it never happened. No, it's a healing process. Don't ignore the process. That's another thing. Like, don't ignore the process. Don't try to numb your way out of the process. Don't do that. Feel every emotion. Every emotion is an emotion from God. If you're feeling sadness toward that person, know how to feel the sadness, but not allow for the sadness to control you. And it took a long time for me to know how to control my sadness, and that would be something I'll talk about in another video. But it's knowing how to not allow your anger, I'm still learning that one though, your frustration, your sadness, your happiness, your joy, anything to control you. It is you to control all of those emotions, but God didn't say it was anything wrong with the emotions. It's just to not allow for it to control you or you to act out of character because you're in those emotions. But Jesus was angry too. He was flipping over tables when the people was doing too much in that church. So at the end of the day, it's nothing wrong with these emotions. We are okay to having these emotions. And once I accepted the fact that these emotions were fine, I was easier to dissect the situation of what I was going through and not focus on, oh, okay, I can't be sad. It's so wrong to be sad. I gotta pretend to be okay. No, if you're sad, give yourself 5 minutes. Heck, give yourself a day, but don't let it go no more than a day, because that's when it starts to control you. And at first, when in my sadness, it took me some time to understand that this emotion is okay to have. But once I was able to grasp, okay, I'm feeling sad, Father, and gotta be honest with God. Gotta be honest with him. Don't sugarcoat nothing. He already know. But I was like, Father, I'm sad. I don't like the way that I'm feeling towards this person or these people. I'm not liking the anger that I'm feeling towards it. It's disturbing my peace. How do I grow from this? How can you help me? How am I supposed to be or walk or talk or act around them in this situation and while I'm not around them, and when the situation is over, how do I ever to help other people? So the best thing I can say is don't pretend. Don't pretend like you're okay, because you're not. If hearing their name bothers you, if seeing them bothers you, if their name probably be called or named or said something in a TV or movie show or anything, and it bothers you, honey, you are still in your healing process, and it is okay. It's okay. It's okay to be honest with God. But when it's not okay is when you allow for those emotions to hoard and take your peace, because it's some ill chemical that goes on when you allow negative energy to take over your positive energy. So don't do it. Just learn to forgive, let go, and give it to God, and he will help you. It will take time, and it took time for me. It didn't take 2 months, it didn't take 6 months, it took almost a year. But now, all right, I'm lying, it took almost a year, but it took some time. And once I was able to acknowledge that I could be honest with God about it, and once I was able to acknowledge that it's okay for me to feel these feelings, I was able to move on in the process a little bit sooner. I still have work to do. I'm not perfect. We're not perfect. But that's why I have God. That's why we all have God, because he is perfect. And as long as he is in me and I am in him, we are good. You're good. So that's all I really wanted to say. I had nothing else to say, but that touched my heart to want to say something to you guys about it. So the next one, I don't know, I like doing this, like quick videos. I gotta go and hurry up, and that's just that. But guys, if this is your first time here, thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you for chilling with your girl for a little bit. Thank you girls so much for coming. Guys, I'll see you in my next video.